Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes Mr. Langworthy for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Chief Chavez and Chief Modlin, for all of your testimony here today. And please express our thanks to all of the Border Patrol agents for all that you do to do your very best to keep this nation safe. In the first 3 months of fiscal year 2023, there were an estimated 7,000 aliens passing a day illegally. Chief Modlin, how has the unprecedented flow of illegal immigration impacted U.S. Border Patrol's ability to maintain operational control of the southern border?
Thank you for the question, sir. So, you know, when the flow of migrants across the border increases the way it does, there is a compounding amount of things that happen. One, certainly in my sector, in the Tucson sector, because of the very extreme terrain we deal with, agents are called upon to make rescues. So an agent, literally in a matter of seconds, can go from an enforcement action to now rescuing someone, you know, performing, you know, putting tourniquets on, whatever that happens to be. So you have that. You have just the great distances within my sector that cause us to deal with these large groups and takes away from the border security mission. So it is a challenge for sure, and it absolutely impacts our ability to secure the border.
Are you familiar with the phrase "a got-away"?
Absolutely, sir.
Are you aware that there's been an estimated 600,000 gotaways in the last year?
Yes, sir, I'm familiar with the estimate.
So let's now pivot to terrorism. Have the both of you heard of the terrorist screening database?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain the terrorist screening database broadly?
Yes, sir. So broadly, at least the way we come into contact with it is when we apprehend someone and we start running all the checks on them, the biographical checks, the biometrics checks. If those checks return a hit that they are possibly connected to the database, then our agents reach out to the National Targeting Center, and then in conjunction with agencies like the FBI, that person is vetted to see if they are in fact on the list.
Chief Modlin, are you aware that the U.S. Border Patrol agents apprehended 98 individuals with derogatory information in the terrorist screening databases in fiscal year 2022?
Yes, sir. I'm aware that number was published.
Are you aware of whether any of these suspected terrorists were released from custody, or were you able to maintain detention on them through the life cycle of the immigration case?
So again, thank you for the question, sir. So we don't maintain detention on anyone throughout the life cycle of their immigration, regardless of whether it's an unaccompanied child, a family group, a single migrant, or somebody like that would be on the watch list. Ours is just very quick and initial processing, and then they move on to custody of others.
Could you list some of the countries where some of these terrorists, known terrorists, are coming from that have entered some of the 98?
So in my experience, I will say this: Tucson sector has not seen very much of this. I believe there may have been 2 last year that were on the list, and I don't know what country they came from, sir.
Are you aware that some of the terrorists that are coming from hostile countries, like, for instance, Yemen?
Again, I have not seen the list of where they were coming from, sir. I just know that they're on the list.
Great. Can you describe to us the tactics used at the southern border to evade federal agents?
So there are quite a few tactics in my sector, particularly, which is fairly unique to Tucson sector. Everyone that crosses is head to toe in camouflage. So literally a camouflage hoodie, camouflage boots they pull on over their shoes, which have carpet on the bottom of them, which help them to evade tracking as well. So when we try to track someone, much more difficult if there's carpet on there versus that. And then they also get up into incredibly high elevations. So they get 8,000 to 9,000 feet up into the mountains to avoid detection.
Because we don't have an official number of gotaways, is it possible that there could be more terrorists who have entered the United States that the Border Patrol is unaware of, or they were able to be evaded?
As I've said before, sir, I don't think it's appropriate for me to take a guess at anyone that might have evaded us. All I can say is that the gotaway numbers are incredibly important, and there's 2 parts to that as well, as I testified earlier, is that there are the known gotaways, and then there's what we don't know as well. All of it is a concern to the Border Patrol. I can tell you that it affects every agent to know that we don't have the border, or that people are getting past us at points.
Chief Chavez, have you seen this number of terrorists enter the U.S. with such ease in your entire career?
Sir, thank you for the question. I'll add to Chief Mullen's response. You know, for the RGV, I know that CBP has also published that they're monitoring certain types of countries, migrants from certain types of countries. I know 25 countries as well, plus China. And what's a concern to me and RGV and the agents that work every day on that border is that we have seen a 176% increase of Chinese nationals in the RGV sector between those ports of entry. So for us, I mean, it's a difference of 309 this fiscal year compared to 112 previously. And it's something that we're keeping a close eye on, as well as an increase of Albanian nationals this year. I think it's a 314 increase of Albanian nationals, which is really a number of 29 versus 7 from last year. But, you know, more so than that, the got-away situation is something that not only concerns every Border Patrol agent on that front line, but certainly us as chiefs, because the field commanders, we know that there are gotaways that we can verify and have fidelity because of the technology and the agent's ability to verify that there was a person that crossed through that zone or that area. But then the ones that concern us are the unknowns, the people that we just don't know about actually, you know, actually crossing and those gotaways taking place.
Thank you both very much for your testimony today, and I yield back.